Hello, Internet. It is I, the Matt. I can't wade through it. I want to talk through my other comics from this month. So, first up is White Savior. This is issue 4 of 4. I ran this through the art, and this is really cool. The writing in it was not for me, clearly for a younger audience. It's playing on a lot of humor. Like, it's weird because it's kind of edgy humor, but it's also playing off this newer wave of, eh, for a lack of a better term, just poke at it, the woke, like, sort of things. And the idea of white savior is that it's Asian American who looks one way to some people but has heritage elsewhere, and they're playing with a lot of things and whether things are problematic or not. It's really weird. um I don't know, wouldn't recommend it. Said that 4 months now. Next is number 5 of Gargoyles. I have given up, because I didn't watch the series. I can't access this. Next up is Hitomi number 5. This is ending this series. I really enjoyed it. The ending is there. It is an ending. It isn't such a grand, ending that this becomes some legend of the comics scape that I feel like you have to go get. But there's no doubt Hitomi is one of the best comics that's come out in a while. It's absolutely wonderful. Please check it out in some capacity. This is coming from me, Mr. Hypercritical, it feels like anymore. Definitely worth checking out. Next is Nemesis Reloaded issue 4. This run of Nemesis, I feel, has been a little more up and down, but this is definitely one of the better issues. It's playing more with a grander scale, and I feel like is moving past the initial idea of, like, what if Batman was bad, and is now moving to weirder, more political scape, and if a character was abusing power, taking power, and ultimately kind of a world-ending idea, but in a scope that actually feels more relevant. And to go to what I've been saying in a lot of books, there's a lot of human characters here. There, despite the grand scale of the book of him trying to basically destroy everything, um, there's a lot of smaller scale moments that give some meaning to what that everything is. And for what's really set up across 4 issues, it's covering a lot of ground. It may not be the best Mark Miller comic, but there's a competency here that I feel like has held back other Mark Miller comics that people are really eager to, like, lean in on. Like, I think part of it is because Mark Miller knows this can't be a movie. This can't be a TV show. He's writing this because he wants to, and it's a comic, and he's getting away with what he can do at his highest level in his craft. Um, which kind of makes some of his other efforts feel kind of sad. It's kind of fascinating because he's been such a big name for so long. He's been tied to all these bigger projects, and the Millerverse and all that. And seeing him come back with the full scope of his career behind him now, and maybe being, on a bit more downtrend of it, but also still having a scope beyond what most creators have. Seeing what he's been doing more recently versus kind of at his height when he was playing to Hollywood and making a lot of compromises, it's so much better now. It is so much better now. If you're someone who kind of lapsed on Mark Miller, not because of content check reasons or whatnot, but just because the level of quality from what came from him suffered for so long, I completely understand. But I highly recommend, maybe checking out a few of his more recent projects. He's really come around as a creator. And even when he's not doing his absolute best, this run has not been his absolute best. There's still a lot more here than what there was during like his last stuff with Kick Ass and whatnot. Um, Saga 63. Um, at this point, if you haven't kind of glommed on to the uh, post delay saga and its much more bitter message and its lack of fantastic ideas and its harsh reality that it's portraying. I mean, clearly here poking at Amazon work fulfillment centers and honestly playing at the idea of child labor and when is a good time to start work for a kid, especially if your family's in dire circumstances. Um, it's an interesting book, despite the face of it. The characters here are dealing with smaller scale. It's a lot of what I've been asking for in other comics, and I mean, I don't know. It may not have the glow of Saga from before, but this is still one of the better comics coming out. It is a shame that they shot themselves in the foot. There's no question, but I'm still here for the ride. It's still a book worth picking up. Um, Tower issue 3. I apparently accidentally ordered one of the Virgin covers. God, I hate that term. It doesn't have a title on it, so it's a Virgin. Ugh, why does some stuff in comics have to be so gross for no reason? I don't know. People are weird about that kind of thing. Anyways, this is kind of a Hunger Game, but with a futuristic idea to it. Oh no. So Cameras Johnson and Kelsey Barnhart are writing this. Chris Cross, the reason I was picking this up, is doing the art. Chris Cross of Slingers fame. You know, everybody loves Slingers. This has been a like I said, Hunger Games take. They're putting more of a video game spin. Like these people signed up to be in a video game and now they're shooting each other, but I don't think they're dying. They're just getting ejected from the game. At least that's the sense I get. Maybe they're supposed to die in real life if they die in the game, but like, is that really in here? I don't know. It's been a kind of fun comic, but I gotta be honest, if it wasn't 5 issues, I'd probably just drop it here. It's not grabbing me so well. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. It's a fun comic. There's nothing wrong with it per se, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to a soul. Next up, I made a problem with this. Voyages #5. I got 2 covers accidentally. This has been an achievement in comics. Again, kind of like Hitome, I don't think the ending makes it such a incredible standout, feat of comics whatnot. It ends and ends strong for the story, and that's fine, but it's not some overwhelming magnum opus or anything. But this, I mean, this is Sume Kessen. I can't say, I can't pronounce names. I think we've established that. But this is, writer artist kind of thing. I would pick up this book and recommend it to just look at the art and some of the layouts and just, I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's a true blue, like in the drag of it all, sci-fi book in a way that very few comics are. And it's not a property and it's not a this and that. It's just a damn good sci-fi comic. We don't get a lot of those. Um, Not to say just to support something for the sake of supporting a general idea. I mean, these are a good solid 5 issues of comics. When a trade comes out, it's gonna be worth your while, much more so than a number of other things. So, 2 strong recommendations and a handful of other stuff. This is across a bunch of publishers, so I don't want to, talk about anything like I did with DC here. But as a lot of people I've found that I used to talk Marvel and DC with over and over have pushed much harder into, I'm calling this indie, but I mean like Dark Horse Image. How indie is that really? In some cases, is it really indie at all? Um, I don't know. Like Gargoyles, is that really indie? It's a property comic. I don't know. But there's a lot of cool stuff out there, and there's a lot of creative output, and that's part of what makes comics beautiful. And I always kind of regret when I'm not pushing into that area maybe a little harder. But I'm still looking, and a lot of what I just want to point to some of it. Hold on. As I push through these issues every month, I kind of have had this pile of trades that's been stacking up behind me. Of course, when I get away from my monthly stuff, I've been reading for the last several months Punisher. So much Punisher. It's getting to me a little bit. But I've been picking up some different stuff. I kind of gave up my vendetta against Terry Moore. I don't know. So I picked up Serial. I picked up a entire collection of Rachel Rising. I you know, I'm reading some of this. I'm going back and reading Astro City and doing that. I'm going back and reading, or plan on reading Grendel. I haven't started, but I'm going to be going and doing that. And I just got this collection. Um, I have all four of these, but I just got this, the Madman, giant collection number 4. This is the final one. Oh, this will be a little more relevant, maybe a good lead in for my next video. But I've been reading these Usage Yojimbo Origins, which, if you're unfamiliar, is Usage Yojimbo comics with color. Um, I know a lot of people swear by black and white. I love color. I'm not going to apologize for it anymore. Comics with color are better every time. There's one comic I can think of that I want black and white instead of the colorized version. That is V for Vendetta. Because the way they did the coloring with their impressionist bullshit nonsense looks terrible. But every other comic I've ever read that's had color added to it has been better for it, unless it was just some weird poor exception. Usually it's because they did a bad job coloring. I don't care. That's my opinion on everything ever. So stand by it. Yeah, but next video, which I'm gonna record now and then post later. Turtles. So peace out. Hope to get you on the next one. Have a good one.